And the second section I visited is the anthropology section. As I entered into the section, I saw an akka sweeping the floor, and I want to take this moment to appreciate all the workers who are trying to keep the museum clean. Now, this section consists a number of pistols, cannons, handguns, rifles, musketoons, swords, daggers, choppers, knives, shields, spears, etc. And this section is actually the war section or arms and armory section of the museum. This section contains Alexander D's Adichelanu collections of stones, terracotta, bronze, iron, etc., which are about 4,000 year old and are really remarkable. Adichanallur artifacts such as burial urns, potteries, articles of ritual use, ornaments, agricultural tools, household articles, and weapons made up of metal stand as a testimony to the fact that a very ancient civilization thrived in Tamil Nadu. These artifacts are from World Stone Age, Indian Stone Age, Paleolithic stone tools, Mesolithic stone tools, Neolithic stone tools, Megalithic stone tools, Megalithic Adichanallur bronze objects, Megalithic Adichanallur agricultural tools of iron, Megalithic pottery, Megalithic Nilgiri pottery, and many others. As I went to the first floor of anthropology section, I found this map with language families of India, and it is very informative. Then, as I went up, I could see this beautiful interior or architecture of the museum. I stood there for about 5 minutes and I was just looking at that. Now, next section which I explored is the folk religions section. Now, this is very interesting for me to see different kinds of cultures, how people have worshipped, and what exactly they did. So, there are different kinds of votive offerings there, and there was puja articles, there were Vaishnavite shrine, there was a Sakri figures, then you could see Vaishnavite temple car, then there is Saviat temple car, then there's also these are the figures of Kathakali. I actually looked at them for about 10 minutes and I was just again awestruck by it. There are many other puja articles. There was a place where there was a model of the Trishur Kali procession. I found it really interesting. Again, there were images of fisher folk deities and other votive offerings. The next section is the musical instruments section. In this section, you could see the ancient musical instruments used by our very own ancestors. There was sarangi, veena, and many other things like flute, and even in veena you could see different types of veena. So that is what I found a little informative, because I only knew that there was one veena, and but when I saw there were different types of veenas there. Same goes with other instruments like flute. Now this thing here is a glass dholak, which I was a little fascinated of how would people use that dholak to play music, and I like this section. I like the section because I could see different musical instruments which I've never seen in my life, and it was really nice. Next, I went into the folk arts section. Here, you could see various models. First model was the Kondapalli dolls of Asuras and Devas. It was really scary. The next one was some terracotta images of folk deities, and next was some costumes of various folk dances like Karagam, Kavadi, costumes of Terukuthu, and temple dances. There were some miscellaneous string puppets also there. There were other things like temple vahanas, Andhra village model, artifacts of Chettinadu, uh, then Madurai Veeran. There was a depiction of churning of milk ocean. There was terracotta images of folk deities, etc. These puppets were really haunting to me rather than being cute. So yeah, I this section was also good where you could actually see folk arts. The next section is the ethnology section. The ethnographic collections represent the material culture of South Indian tribes such as Chenchos, Gadabas, Khons, Kotas, Lambadis, Savaras, Todas, etc. The tribal and folk collections such as hut models, implements of hunting, agriculture, weapons, fire making implements, writing materials, cult objects, ornaments, jewels, folk dance figures of Tamil Nadu, etc. were there. This particular model is the model of Myanmar's Darbar. The next section is the writing implements section where you can see manuscripts on charcoal coated thread network, palm leaf bundles, manuscripts, and bamboo documents. Then you have knives, pen knives actually, then made up of bull head, knives made up, pens made up of bull head, etc. So, this section is writing implements and media of varied types. These are various sculptures of gods and goddesses carved during different ages, and this looked extremely beautiful. So I took a long shot of all the sculptures. Next gallery is the Indus Valley Civilization Gallery. The museum's prehistoric artifacts excavated from the 5,000-year-old Indus Valley civilization throws light on the life of Indus people. Now here you could see seals and ceilings, stone tools and weapons. There were copper tools and weapons, ornaments of terracotta, ornaments of varied types, and tools of shells and bones. There were also weights, gamesmen of board games, and figures of mother goddess, animal figures of varied types. Then you have a terracotta pottery with a pointed end, terracotta pottery of different types, then terracotta articles of ritual use. There were toys of terracotta. There were terracotta saucers of varied types, painted potsherds, and fragments of varied stone vases, toys of other toys used during those times during Indus Valley civilization. Then there were plaster casts of varied images. This was also again very scary. And let's end the second part with a positive note to plant more trees and look at this beautiful cannonball tree, which is believed to be sacred.